The following announcement has been paid for by the Wrestling Epicenter.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, guys.
Hello, ladies. Remember me? Let me talk to you, dummies.
It's now time
It's theater time. TikTok.
It's showtime!
for the longest running wrestling talk show in history.
We are huge. It's gonna be cool.
You're where it's at.
You smell like me.
Tune in each and every week.
And you better keep listening, or I'll come out of your computer
And turn it on for you.
or else I'm gonna kick your stinking teeth in.
We've been known by a few names.
The needs of the many far outweigh the needs of the few.
The Interactive Interview,
Interactive interview. Oh, yeah.
Interactive interview.
The interactive interview. Interactive interview. The interactive interview.
Interactive Wrestling Radio,
Interactive wrestling radio.
Interactive Wrestling Radio.
Interactive radio.
Interactive wrestling radio.
Interactive wrestling radio.
The Blaze,
Blaze 1260 AM.
The Blaze.
The Blaze.
Blaze. The Blaze Rock.
and a lot of other names.
Weekend Warrior of Wrestling. The Pile Driver.
The Epa Wrestling Center.
3 Count Wrestling.
The Hours Lab.
But it's all one show, the Wrestling Epicenter.
Wrestling Epicenter. The Wrestling Epicenter.
The Epicenter.
Wrestling Epicenter, dude. The Wrestling Epicenter. Don't get off.
And your host from day one,
By ignorance or arrogance.
James Walsh.
Wake up, sleepyheads.
I could care less.
It all starts
What a rush. Oh, Boomer Sooner.
Thank you very much.
I got 2 words for you. Thumbs down. Breaking necks and cashing checks. Now, I've heard a lot about you guys.
Check it out. Get out of my face. You win.
But I'm desperately out of time.
So what you gonna do when Blaze Mania runs wild on you?
now.
Anybody out there?
Our first question comes from Mr. James Walsh. Mr. Walsh, you now have the floor.
Hi, Mr. Nash. It's good to speak with you. All right, my first question is back before Bound for Glory. You unfortunately had some health issues. How are you doing with those today?
Oh, I'm fine. I mean, I think I went in and got a checkup, and I checked out. I think a lot of it was just the fact that I wasn't sure that I was healthy. My father died really had a heart problem. I was having some chest pain issues that night, and actually got some redheads out from another accident. It was just, but I'm fine now.
Well, that's definitely great to hear. That night you were supposed to challenge for the NWA title, which would have completed your trifecta of important titles over the years, which WCW, WWF, and NWA. In the back of your mind, do you still kind of have the hunt for the World Championship?
I mean, if it comes around, yeah, but I'm excited doing what I'm doing right now.
Speaking of what you're doing right now, you're wrestling Chris Sabin at the pay-per-view, and you've been on your crusade of sorts against the X Division. I guess my question is more of a smart question than a Mark question, and that is, the Internet fans, or the Internet journalists, in quotations, seem to have a real bias against big men wrestlers, and you're obviously one of them with their smart-ass comments about you. How do you feel about them not understanding the importance of the big man?
It's like anything else. I mean, I think that it's hard for a normal person to identify with somebody that is genetically just bigger and imposing. I don't think that most kids really identify with Shaquille, with Shaq or something like that when they watch basketball. Yeah, I think it's easier for a kid to look at Steve Nash than, a white suburban kid to say, if I'm going to emulate somebody, I'll probably be able to emulate, Steve Nash. So, I mean, and on top of that, I think that they say, well, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that, he doesn't do this. Well, if you can go out there and do 2 or 3 things and have some charisma and be able to get over, then you don't need to set yourself on fire or do anything else. So, there's a lot of guys facing baseball in that one pitch. It happens to be a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. I don't think it takes away from athleticism. I mean, to move a 7-foot body as well as I move it, takes a lot more skill than it does to move a 5'8" body around.
On Shawn Michaels' Boyhood Dream DVD, he puts over your matches what the big man versus little man Slammiversary, and a lot of people are looking forward to this Sunday's pay-per-view against Chris Sabin to see kind of the same thing. Do you think we could see another great match like your matches with Shawn Michaels?
I mean, I was 10 years younger when I wrestled with Shawn. But Shawn, Shawn had, he taught me some really good psychology, and I think what you have to do is, the reason that I'm really excited about working with Sabin is Sabin can create a lot of movement, and which, it makes, all I have to do is move to his movement, which makes it look like I'm moving 100 miles an hour. So he's a great athlete. He's a talented, really talented wrestler, and he's really coming into his own. And I'm hoping that we can have a match that stands the test of time.
Is he the only X Division guy you see yourself working with? Or are you going to be working with more of them?
I think there's great talent there. I think Sanjay is really talented. I watched Jay Lee the other night against Alec when I was at ringside. I mean, their match was, it was seamless when I was at ringside, which is a lot of times you stand ringside, you watch guys on camera work, and you go, oh, they look good. Then you stand ringside, and you go, oh, wow, their stuff looks kind of weak. And their stuff looked tight. I mean, I was really impressed with their match the other night. It only went like 5 minutes, but what I saw was impressive.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we can't thank you enough for your time. I'll let somebody else ask questions. Once again, thank you, and I'll see you this Sunday at Slammiversary.
Our next question comes from Mr. Richard Jones. We're going to ask that all people in queue to ask questions limit their questions to 1 to 2 questions. Thank you.
All right, Kevin. This is Rich from the Pain Clinic in Rochester, New York. How are you doing today?
Good, man. How you been?
Does that count as one? Any more movies coming out we're going to see in real soon?
DOA comes out August 25th, Dead or Alive.
Okay.
Video game, yeah.
Anything beyond that?
No, I'm actually, I think I'm going to go to New York in a couple of weeks to arrange for another one.
All right, now, I've been noticing a similarity. When 1998 version of Godzilla came out, the tagline was Size Matters. Size also makes a good target. What does Chris Sabin have to do with Slammiversary to get a good match and to beat you?
I mean, to beat me, he'll have to bend me. I guess he's going to have to, I think that when Jim Ross used to call matches with me, he always said the small man, had to withstand the first 7 minutes, and after that it was the advantage became to the smaller man, and I guess that's pretty much, I'm going to go out and throw bombs and try to finish it quick. And, if you can withstand that, then...
Very cool. Now, one more before I let you go. Besides, it seems like you're bringing the best out of Chris Sabin. TNA also has been doing some more house shows recently. Is there a chance we're ever going to see Kevin Nash on the road with TNA?
I mean, if they needed me, I actually said I wanted to wrestle Sabin before this pay-per-view house show. They had already got the cards booked. So, I mean, I was up to do it. It's not something that I'm against. If it makes sense for TNA and for myself, then I'd be more than happy to help out.
All right. Thanks very much, and good luck.
Thanks.
Our next question comes from Mr. Brian Spool. Mr. Spool, you now have the floor.
Hey, Kevin, thanks for joining us. Curious if you could explain why the X Division and the heel turn. Why all that now? You mentioned earlier that if it comes up down the line, you'd be interested in the NWA title again. But why the X Division and why the heel turn?
I've always had more success as a heel anyway. I mean, it's close to my personality. I'm not a babyface in real life. I'm kind of a sarcastic, smart ass. So yeah. So I mean, that kind of just fits. And the X Division, because I mean, if I'm going to work with guys, and I'm limited to what I can do now. Well, I've always been limited. I mean, size does limit you to some degree in what you can do in there, but I know the formula to have a good match with smaller guys. I've had great matches with small guys. I could dance, but I need a good dance partner. So these guys are probably the best dance partners in the business right now. So if I'm going to go out there and do it, I might as well do it with the best.
Creatively speaking, as well as physically speaking, what is similar and what is different about this feud with Chris Sabin and the one that you had with Rey Mysterio years ago?
I think the one with Ray was different in the fact that it was there were so many of us. We ran in a pack of guys. I mean, it was, even if he did pin you, get you down or something like that. But we started that backwards with storyline, and this is going against the X Division, but this is basically to see if they can stand up. I mean, I'm saying they're not, they're not worthy, and they're saying yes we are. Where it's I'm basically taking on the entire X Division instead of one individual.
Right. And I guess just one final question. If you could share some predictions as far as the other matches on the pay-per-view, who do you like to win King of the Mountain, and how do you break down Samoa Joe versus Scott Steiner?
Well, King of the Mountain, I mean, I think that, Killings if I had to pick somebody, maybe Killings would be like the dark horse in that match. He's done it before. But I mean, I really, I don't know who's going to go over in that. I know champions never regain, so maybe Christian will go over because of that. And then Samoa Joe versus Pump. I mean, I'm looking forward to that. I think, Joe's got an incredible amount of talent. And what they did at the last pay-per-view is, I think they were able to kind of feel each other's, style and stuff, so they should be able to put something together that large.
Very cool. Kevin, thanks for your time. I'll let somebody else jump in.
Our next question comes from Mr. Scott Slimmer. Mr. Slimmer, you now have the floor.
Hi, Kevin. Thanks for joining us today.
Scott.
You mentioned briefly that you, at one point, were booking for WCW. After your in-ring career is over, would you ever consider taking a creative position with TNA?
As long as it was part of a committee, I wouldn't want to be the sole. I think it's possible in today's business to just have one vision creatively. But yeah, I'd be more than happy. I'm more than happy to do anything for TNA to help be successful.
Great. And then the second question, you mentioned the big man versus small man matches and how that fits into the X Division. Would you ever be interested in taking it to the top of the X Division with Samoa Joe, where it would definitely be a different style of match because Joe just doesn't fit that normal X Division mold? And how would you approach that?
Well, I mean, I'd be more than happy to work with Joe. I think he's, like I said earlier, he's really talented. I think it no longer becomes a quote X Division match. It becomes, Samoa Joe versus Kevin Nash. I don't think that the X Division really plays into that as much as it just, it just becomes a match between two guys. With this match here, though, I'm taking on Saban. I think that it correlates more with the X Division because of basically their size. Where the thing with Joe is that size is an issue with him. So, Joe probably weighs, maybe 10 pounds less than I do.
Okay, my final question. You've been talking a lot recently about big men versus little men in wrestling. And over the past couple of years, we've seen a lot of smaller guys who break the mold of the traditional big man champ becoming world champions. Do you think this is just a fad, or has there been a real shift in what people see as who can be a world champion?
I think it's happened because there isn't any big guys out there to be champion. I just think it's happened because the business has gotten smaller. There's not a whole lot of really, charismatic big men out there that I can think of. And ones that are still in the business, that have had the belt enough times, it really doesn't matter. They don't really need the belt to be successful. I mean, the Undertaker doesn't need a belt to be successful. He's the Undertaker. A lot of times, the belt becomes a prop to make somebody. And once you've gotten past the fact that the belt really doesn't make you or break you, then it's kind of stupid creatively to put it on that person too much when you can put it on somebody else and kind of bring them to that next level.
Okay, thanks a lot for your time today.
Sure.
Our next question comes from Mr. Chad Perry. Mr. Perry, you have the floor.
Hi, Kevin. It's great to speak to you. When you first came into TNA in November of 2004, you came in with your good friend Scott Hall. Scott was gone from TNA TV, I believe, in January of the next year. Have you talked with Scott lately? And if so, are there any plans of bringing Scott back to TNA?
I haven't talked to Scott in a couple of months, which isn't good. Anytime I don't talk to Scott, I mean, Scott's probably out doing what Scott does. But I don't think there's any plans of bringing it back right now because I don't think anybody's in any contact with him.
Okay. And do you think be any possibility of course, WWE did it in 2002, with TNA possibly trying to start up a new NWO, and if they did, do you think it would be as big of a failure as when WWE tried it?
When they tried to do it, no. The reason that the only reason the WWF did NWO angle didn't work, or WWE NWO didn't work, was the fact that we came in and they immediately pulled Hulk out of the mix. I mean, it definitely worked because when we came back in, ticket sales went up and ratings went up. And, I mean, the thing was, we went to WrestleMania. The original plans were that Scott Hall was going to beat Austin, and we were going to screw The Rock. And we got to WrestleMania, and they changed the finishes where Steve beat Scott, and basically Hogan turned babyface on us. So, I mean, I think it was pretty much they didn't want that to get over, and we couldn't do it at TNA because we don't own they own the NWO, they own that moniker.
All right. And my final question is, you've worked with a lot of big names over the year, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Jeff Jarrett. Is there one person that you haven't faced yet that you would like to?
I mean, Joe would be one. I think I would like to find out what I could do with him. That's off the top of my head. But I mean, yeah, I've wrestled most of the guys. I haven't wrestled Joe yet.
Okay, and thank you.
Thanks, man.
Our next question comes from Mr. Blackjack Brown. Mr. Brown, you have the floor.
All right, Brother Kevin, how are you?
Blackjack.
My man, how you doing, man?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good, man.
I've been hearing some rumors, and I'm always one for rumors. What are the possibilities of Eric Bischoff joining that organization? If that was to be true, how would you handle that? If that had, if that did come to pass.
Eric's an old buddy of mine.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so I mean, that would be nothing but good for me because it would give me a chance to see my friend four times a month. So that would be a good thing. I mean, he's great. He's a great on-camera personality, and he's good as far as creatively and adding something to the mix. So I mean, that would just be a plus all the way around.
So, as I said, for the other journalists out there and that writers, it's just a rumor, so just take it as so.
So he may be the face of the paper.
Oh, I didn't even hear that one.
Well, I mean, you say the rumor, and there's an opening for him there.
Yes, and then several rumors then. He was just one of them.
Yeah.
I wasn't even talking about the one for Sunday.
Oh, I'm just throwing in the mix. And I don't know. I mean, they've been keeping a pretty tight lip on who that is.
Yeah, that's how they should keep it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully things are well with the family and everything. And
good, man. My little boy turned 10 yesterday.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, congratulations, and all's well, brother. Peace.
All right. Good talking, buddy.
Okay.
All right, bye, man.
Our next question comes from Jason Cleveland. Mr. Cleveland, you have the floor.
Hey, Kevin, Jason Cleveland, Farm Wrestling. How are you doing today?
How are you doing?
Not too bad. My first question is, as a veteran in a relatively young locker room, what sort of influence, it seems like they want to pair up guys like you and Jeff Jarrett and Team 3D and stuff with some of these younger guys in order to not only give them the rub of facing established talents, but also to give them a chance to learn. What do you feel is your role as being sort of a veteran in the locker room?
I mean, try to give them some kind of insight on. I mean, I think that the younger generations learn out that you need to work smarter instead of harder. And a lot of times there's a way to do things where you don't kill yourself, that you get the same bottom line. And I think that's one thing that I watch a lot of these guys work, and thank God that and a lot of these guys work not only the four times we work a month, but they work another 10 or 12 indie shows. I know they go out there and just guys not to be able to wrestle in the mid-30s and then retire when they want to. So somebody's saying you've got to quit. So I think that's one thing, is just try to show them that there's different styles besides one style that they have, and there's times and places to use, the high spots, not use the high spots. Hopefully it extends some of their careers. But, if I could stop one guy from not getting hurt out there, then I think I'd accomplish a lot.
And my second question is regarding WWE. We saw Shawn Michaels and Triple H reform DX last night. Much like the NWO angle a few years ago, it seems like WWE is trying to delve into the past in order to get a pop or whatever. What are your thoughts on sort of going back to groups like that, especially when the NWO was such a failure for the WWE version? And what do you think of Shawn and Triple H reforming that particular group?
Well, if they do it with the same creative genius that they did the NWO, I'm sure it'll fail. But I think it's going to be interesting because Shawn's a Christian, and Shawn's a very devout Christian, and I don't think that, if you look at DX, if you look at the things they did, it was pretty risque stuff that they did. A lot of it was very sexual, and I don't see Shawn doing that again. So it's going to be, from a standpoint of Kevin Nash, interest, it'll be that, how are they going to storyline wise be able to pull this off with Shawn's convictions. So I think that's going to be the interesting thing for me to watch.
All right, well, I'll let someone else grab the floor. Thank you very much, Kevin.
All right, man.
Our next question comes from Wade Needham. Mr. Needham, you have the floor.
Nash, first off, I'd like to say I have a lot of respect for you and what you've done in business up to this point. I'm a big fan of your work.
You're the only one, brother.
On to my question. The X Division has been described as having no limit. Do you feel that being a man of your size and of your age, that you match with a guy like Saban this Sunday, that you will be limited?
The only thing that limits this match is gravity, how far I can throw him. That's the way I look at it. And God, let me think now. You come back and you pick the smallest guy that you can toss furthest. Seems to work as you get older. I am a genius. No, that's what you do. I've never been able to move like the small guy. So you work against guys. The worst match for a big guy is like when Big Show wrestled Kane. You got two guys that can't create movement. Kane's much better with a smaller guy. Show's much better with a smaller guy. That's just the psychology that works for a big man. And anytime they try to do the big man versus big man match, for most big guys, you're like, oh man, this is going to be brutal. And going into it. The only matches that I really enjoyed as a big man versus big man was Taker, because Taker was very mobile for a big guy. And Taker could, duck and do the big clothesline. Taker could create the movement that you need to make the match exciting. But besides that, I think that, big man versus big man matches is pretty much like watching paint dry.
So speaking of that match that you had with The Undertaker at WrestleMania 12, that was a very exciting match, and good work on that one.
Thanks.
Next question. Also, down the road, after you take out the rest of the X Division stars to possibly capture the X Division championship, do you see a possible backlash of the fans on the whole TNA product in a negative way?
Why? People say, the thing that kills me is people say, well, Nash this, Nash that. And I say, well, it was a shoot. If this was a complete shoot, would those guys beat me in a match? I don't think they would. I don't think there's anybody in the X Division can beat me in a shoot. So then it's just like, so what are you saying? That we should because I don't fit your criteria and you don't personally like me, then therefore, we should not, have it follow, as true to storyline but as true to real life the storyline as possible. We should have you get beat, and you should, give praise to the X Division, and I just, I don't know. If there's a backlash, I think so far that this angle has been done right, and it's been done well. And who's not to say that I'm not going to go out and get beat Sunday? And nobody knows what the finish is. I think people need to save judgment until they watch what happens. So far, I don't think that anybody thought that
I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah, I mean, well, I thank you for your time and hope you have a wonderful day, and good luck this Sunday at Slammiversary. Thanks, man.
Our next question comes from James Lowe. Mr. Lowe, you have the floor.
Silver Fox, Big Sexy, the Giant Killer. How you doing, buddy? Had a couple questions. One being, when you get done conquering the X Division, there's been a rumor that Sean Waltman, X-Pac, whatever you want to refer to him, has been contacted by Lucha Libre AAA. And I know the AAA does a lot of talent trade with TNA. They did the World X Cup and everything. Would you and Waltman ever consider going down there and punking out a lot of the luchadors?
I mean, if the money's right. I don't think they pay any money down there, do they?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the intangible right there. They're gonna come. I'll go wherever the cheese is, but there ain't no cheese. I'm just gonna be sitting here watching the waves crash.
Final question on this. With all the talk, there's been some talk earlier in conference call, and I've seen some things on the internet about Scott Hall. If TNA really wanted to, would they be able to bring Scott in, you in, Waltman in, and maybe put you guys with Jarrett, and maybe have like a heel faction to go up against Sting and the rest of the guys in TNA?
Well, I mean, like I said, I've called Scott about 6 or 8 times in the last 4 or 5 weeks, and he hasn't returned any calls, which tells me he's either down in Puerto Rico or, I mean, who knows what he's doing. But it's never a good sign when Scott doesn't call me back. You know, so I just don't think that he's really a viable entity to do anything with right now, because I don't even know where his head's at.
It's too bad. You guys had some great moments back.
Like I'll always say, he's the greatest talent ever to be a world champion.
Yeah. I know that just watching this Alex Shelley thing you've been doing, it reminds me of the old Louis Spicoli NWO days.
We always like to get us a young boy and smarten him up and see if he can fit into the mix. And I think Shelley's been doing a great job. I think that he really just needs, because it's there in him. I mean, I see it in him. Yeah. Just when I sit and I talk to him, it's just like it's there, and he's got that. He's a smart ass. He's sarcastic. When he did when Borash was interviewing me the other day, and he did a little Borash impersonation before you. I mean, I thought this is the kind of, that's good TV, and this kid, that's the neat quality that he has. That just he's getting a chance to be with me and let alone. I mean, I'm really happy with my partnership with him, and I really don't want to bring anybody in to that. I mean, I want to see how far he and I can develop this. And,
I think it'd be great.
Absolutely.
I think if you guys would, like, if you won the X title, and then you guys go on and win the tag belts and just kind of
or maybe maybe down the line somewhere, a guy get injured, God forbid, but I can still bodyguard him, and he becomes the Shawn Michaels, and I become the bodyguard again. He gets the belt, we get a nice run, and we protect him with it. There's a million variables, storyline wise, to do things, and he's charismatic. He can work, he can talk. I mean, he can do Gaga, he can do it all. So just, I mean, it's just like he's a real talented guy. It's just like let's nurture that and let that build, because there's a guy that I think he's 21 years old.
Yeah, phenomenal talent.
Yeah, so here's a guy that's, I mean, he's not even, you don't even learn to work till you're 28. The old timers always tell you, you don't learn how to work until you get hurt. It's not, what does that mean? Then you get hurt and you're like, well, you have to work because you can't use your athleticism anymore. So, but, yeah, he's been, I feel like at this point in my career, I'm like Dracula, and I need that young blood around me, to keep me going. So, he's been great for me.
Well, Kevin, good luck this weekend, Slammiversary, and what do you have planned after this? Are you just going to keep doing the exhibition thing?
I mean, I think that, the beauty of wrestling is every week you kind of do it, and the next morning you get up and there's kind of an empty canvas in front of you. And that's always been one of the things it again, you know. I mean, I'm watching wrestling, I'm watching tapes again. It's just, you know, my mind's back into it. So it's
like
just,
you're having a hell of a lot of time out there.
yeah, I am. I'm having a good time. I'm having a lot of fun, and it's good to be around these young guys that are so, you know, so passionate, you know. Because I remember when I was like that. So it's nice to see that again and to see so much of it. It's just like, yeah, this is a good place to be.
Kevin, I'll let somebody else take over. You have a good one, and
Thanks,
good
man.
luck this Sunday, man.
Thanks, man.
Our next question comes from Doc Young. Mr. Young, you have the floor.
Thank you, Kevin. This is Doc Young from Wrestling Weekly featuring Les Thatcher. How are you?
Yeah, good, man. How's Les doing?
He's doing pretty good. He's just getting off from Cauliflower Alley. He should be back in town tonight.
Tell him I said hi.
Will do. My question is, if you had the authority and the power to bring one person to TNA, who would you bring?
If I could bring one person to TNA. Wow. I mean, living or dead?
No, I would say living.
I don't know. I mean, the funny is that you say that there's like nobody that I could just figure that you could pick off the street and drop them into that equation that makes it, you know, that much better than what it is.
Right.
I don't think there's. I think that's the biggest thing right now in wrestling is there is that one talent out there that's really gonna is you know, it's really a giant turning factor. You know, there's, you know, Austin's basically not wrestling anymore. I mean, if Steve was healthy, I'd love to have Steve. He's one of my best friends.
Maybe a Goldberg?
Yeah, I think that Bill would be great. But you know, I just don't think that anybody. And Bill's banged up too.
Yeah. My second question is, a lot of people in the last 5 years or so have been coming out with the autobiographies. What's your take on that? Will we be seeing a Kevin Nash autobiography anytime soon?
No, never. Well, in fact, my life's personal. Things I did with my friends are, you know. And number one, I got a 10-year-old boy, and I couldn't tell my story and have my 10-year-old boy read it.
Right.
I just do it, you know. So if I can't be truthful, if I can't tell my whole story, then I can't tell any of my story.
Okay. Well, I'll let you go and let somebody else take over. Good luck this Sunday and stay healthy.
Thanks, man. Appreciate the last one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Our next question comes from Mr. James Gutman. Mr. Gutman, you now have the floor.
Hi, Kevin. James Gutman from World Wrestling Insanity. How are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good, man. I just had one question for you about your feud with the X Division. You talked about creating movement and kind of, you know, masking the shortcomings of different performers. My question for you is, kind of regardless of wherever the feud goes, do you think the mere visual of you at 7 feet tall standing next to a guy whose obvious shortcoming is the lack of height might taint the view that fans have of those people, kind of hard to wash away regardless of where the feud goes?
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, you know, the size of what it is, it's there. I mean, a wall is a wall. I mean, I think that the thing is the intrigue of just that. Oh my God, this guy he's a giant. He's a true giant. I'm not the 6'5" guy that they say is 7'5". I mean, I'm legitimately, I'm actually probably taller than they list me. So no, I think that the key to intrigue to me is always the matchups. If the matchup doesn't intrigue you, it doesn't really matter whether the storyline's intriguing or not. The matchup itself at the end of the day is not intriguing. There's no reason to watch it. And I think that people will be intrigued to see how this match goes. And that's all you can do is be a part of a card and as people look down the card and say, do I want to see that? Do I not want to see it? And when they check next to it and say, yeah, I want to see that. And that's all you can do to enhance the card. That's your job as a wrestler. So I think that Saban and I are an intriguing match to see how the psychology, how the physicality, how the athleticism, how those things match up, and then what the outcome is for the finish. And I don't think people. I mean, I'm sure everybody says, oh, Nash will beat him in 30 seconds. This will be horrible. You know?
enough. I appreciate it, Kevin. Thanks.
All right.
Our next question comes from Peter Turk. Mr. Turk, you have the floor.
Hi, Kevin. This is Heather. How are you?
Good, Heather.
Now, you're obviously a very opinionated person, and you feel free to speak your mind, which is great. So today is the return of ECW. I have to ask, what are your thoughts on Vince resurrecting the ECW franchise?
I mean, it's already got such a WWE flavor to it that it's not ECW. I mean, you know, Big Show wasn't an ECW. Cena's gonna be there tonight. It's too diluted and too. And I think it's gonna be in a SmackDown arena, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Yep.
It's gonna have that slick, overproduced feel of the WWE, which the thing that when I used to watch ECW, when it used to come on the Sunshine Channel here in Florida late at night, was that was full mass, one of them small buildings, and they sure didn't have the ECW pay-per-view at a big slick arena. They had it at a smaller venue, and I think that's kind of I think it's the intimate. It's a very male-driven 18 to 34 demographic thing, and I don't know. As one of the boys, I wish it success because it's more chances for guys to work. Another place for guys to work, so I wish it success, but I just think that, if they let Paul do it, if they let Paul Heyman creatively do the show, then it'll be successful. If they let the other guys get their hands in and muck it up and overproduce it and make it when it wasn't before, then I don't think it'll work.
Right. Now, you've talked about your little boy who just turned 10, and obviously with TNA, you guys aren't on the road as much as with the WWE, but at this point in your career, obviously there's a lot of speculation before that you were going to retire, and you came back, and now this week you're getting back in the ring again. What is that drive that you continuously feel? Like, what makes you still get in the ring after all these years? And obviously, you can stay at home with your family. And
I think it's the fact that you miss performing. I think that you miss, it's one thing to have, to go into a movie and spend 3 months, but you're only on the set, actually working like the longest yard. I may be shot, 18 to 80 out of 4 months, and that's, in those days you go out, you're creative, but it's not the same because it's a stop-go kind of creativity. You shoot for, you do dialogue per minute, it's cut, you move the cameras. This has such a different feel for it because you go out there and you give them 5, 8, 12, whatever it is. It's a continuous, run of just being able to go out there and try to create something that's entertaining. And you miss that. I mean, you miss that release when you don't have it.
And one more quick question. Going into the pay-per-view this Sunday, are you training any differently this time around? I mean, it's been a while since you've been back in
I'm
the
cutting
ring.
down to 1 bottle of red wine a night. My training regime, but it's either a Camus or an Opus, so it's a good quality red.
Well, thank you so much. It was great talking to you.
All right, take care.
You too.
Our next question comes from Mr. Jim Barcelone. Mr. Barcelone, you have the floor.
Hey, Kevin, I just wanted to know, did doctors advise you at all to cut back on the wrestling or give you any type of special diet or anything, especially with the scare you had?
No. My doctor, when he got all the tests back, said that, he looked at my blood and everything, and said, he said, your only limitations are with the orthopedic problems. He said, everything else is fine, you're not going to have a heart attack. So I said, all right, my heart's cool, but I know my body's banked up, and I feel it daily, so. But no, my doctor gave me a complete bill of health. My cardiologist did, not my orthopedic guy. My orthopedic guy thinks I'm crazy for still doing this.
The other thing I was going to ask you about was WCW. You did a program with the Natural Born Thrillers. What is it like, because you worked with that young group, what is it like? Is there any comparisons working with them and working with the X Division?
Yeah, there's a lot because I think that it's funny because the guys in the X Division, though, they're very young, are pretty seasoned because most of them, they're like Kid was, they broke in when they were like 18, so they've been, 23, they've been working 5 years, so a lot of them have got a lot of ring time. And it seems like a lot of them work, a lot of the independent circuits against each other, 20 times a month. And you get with a guy, and in the course of 2 months, you'd have 40 matches with him. So you'd have a really good ability to go on TV and pick and choose high spots, psychology and stuff that you had from a huge Rolodex of things you've done together. I think that's one thing that makes these guys so special is they all have wrestled against each other so many times. They know each other, they know each other's moves, they can kind of just go out there and go. It reminds me a lot of when WCW took off in '96, and we had that incredible, they called it the Cruiserweight division. We had Malenko and Dragon and Hoovy and Psychosis and Ray and, Benoit. Then we had, there was, 12, 15 guys that were probably some of the best hands in the world. So it reminds me a lot of that same period. And the Thrillers were a lot bigger guys. Jindrak was 6'6". I think maybe Mike Sanders was probably the smallest of the guys. Mike was probably about 6'2" or 3". So they were some decent sized guys.
All right, thank you, Kevin.
All right, man.
Our next question comes from Mr. Brendan Brooks. Mr. Brooks, you have the floor.
Good afternoon, Kevin. How's it going?
Good, man. How you doing?
Doing good. Hey, you've done a lot of movies recently, at least a few that have been pretty successful. Are we going to see Kevin Nash in the upcoming films?
Yeah, earlier, we have one coming out August 25th at DOA, Dead or Alive. Jimmy Presley's my daughter in it. It's like a fighting video game adaptation on film.
And being a father right now, do you see that as a potential post-career from wrestling?
I don't think you can bank on film. You could do 5 films in 2 years and never work again. It's such a quirky business. I did a couple films early when I first started wrestling, like Ninja Turtles, Free Jack. I thought that was going to be an avenue. And then, almost 10 years before I did another film. Granted, I was wrestling and doing a lot of things, and I turned down Sabretooth and X-Men because I was in the middle of my run at WCW. But I don't think it's really an option. I don't know if you bank on doing movies. I think you can just disappoint yourself. I think it's more like a paid vacation. If somebody's gonna put you in a movie and give you a per diem and put you up and pay you, it's great. If not, I've got enough money saved up where I can't live like a king, but I can live pretty good. I can wake up looking at the ocean every day.
Yeah.
And spend time with my family, so.
That's always important.
Yeah.
Going back, a long time ago, you were one of the second most recruited players from Michigan behind Magic Johnson in your high school years. If provided, you actually did make it to the NBA, who was one coach that you would love to play under?
Now?
Yeah, well now, yeah.
Well, I'd either want to play under Avery or Pat Riley, because at least I'd be in the finals.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sure it'd be Riley. I've read Riley's book. I've always been a fan of Riley's, so I hope they get it turned around tonight.
Okay, cool. Well, one final question before I go. Who is the one guy in the TNA locker room that really stands out from the rest?
In the showers or in the locker room?
Locker room. Put the clothes on, preferably, man.
You know what? I'm really, really impressed with Joe because Joe's got a lot of talent, and Joe is one of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet in your life. Every time I see him, he makes me smile. He's always got a smile on his face. He's one of the guys. He is, I think, will be our poster boy because he's the kind of guy that you can drop in a mall, drop in an auto place. You can drop him in anywhere. And I think that he's got there's a charisma to him. The people like him. People are drawn to him, and his work's very good. So I think that he's a guy that, if I had to just pick one of them, but like I said earlier, I think Shelley's. There's Saban. There's all these guys that I'm getting a chance to meet and talk to are very driven, very level-headed guys that all can be very successful.
Cool. Well, thanks a lot. Good luck on Sunday, and I hope you stay healthy.
Thanks, man.
The preceding announcement was paid for by the Wrestling Epicenter.
Time to listen, and if you like what you heard, I'm glad. If you didn't like what you heard, well, go fuck yourself.
Most people done hung up on me.
We had a lovely conversation.
What a show.
Oh, mercy, Daddy. On your radio dial.
Don't hang up. Bye-bye.